Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Walking Dead. Episode 19 is out. Last time we actually looked back into Daryl's past. Daryl, his years away from the group while he was kind of dealing with his own kind of pain and trauma, and also while he was actually searching up and down the river looking for Rick's body. And we also saw how he met Dog, and how he met Dog's original kind of human companion, Leah. And I think according to some people, Leah wasn't actually mentioned beforehand, so I don't know if it was just me kind of thinking Daryl had actually mentioned her to Carol or to someone else, but Leah had not been mentioned beforehand, so this was kind of our first official introduction to her as a character. But she was a fellow survivor, and she was also like the original kind of like even Dog's mother as well, like was actually owned by Leah and her family and everything, and we saw how Leah had actually come to be at that cabin and what her life was like even before the outbreak and stuff, which wasn't the greatest, and then she actually ended up finding her newfound family in the army in a squad. A squad that we do. I don't know if she actually mentioned what happened to them. Just that they kind of, even in the outbreak, they kind of stuck together and figured out that they had to kind of stick together to survive and everything. But no mention of whether they're still around or if they're gone or whatever. Or if we're gonna see them again. If we're gonna see, because I mean, Leah disappeared at the end of the episode, and then that became kind of a question, oh, are we going to see her again? If we're going to see her again, how's it going to be? Is it going to be connected to the new groups that we've met, like the Commonwealth or even the Reapers, or is it going to be her trying to survive both of them, or whatever's going to happen? But Leah and Daryl spent many years together. Like they spent like a good few years, and even 10 months after that together. So like a good enough amount of time since they'd actually met and then formed a relationship. And they did pretty much actually form some sense of a relationship. But then after that, she kind of grew more and more. Kind of, I mean, I don't know what word to use. I think insecure. It comes to mind off like the top of my head, but I don't know if it's insecure. But she just felt like like Daryl was trying to wrestle multiple responsibilities at once. Like he actually felt responsible for Rick, so he spent days on end at the river looking for him. She kind of asked him where he felt he belonged, whether it was at the river or with the original group, like Daryl, like Carol and Michonne and Maggie, or if it was actually with Leah, and then he couldn't answer, so she up and left. But she left Dog behind. And I think that's she still, despite how she felt, she still cared enough about Daryl to actually leave him Dog, because I think Dog kind of loved Daryl right off the bat. He gave him sloppy kisses, and he came bounding up to him every time he smelt him and saw him. So Dog was already very, very attached to Daryl. But Leah, he left her a note. He left her a note that Carol found in the present day, like the note with the stash that said, I belong with you, so come find me. So yeah, but then they found the cabin again in the present day, and the letter was still there. So in all that time, even after the Whisperer stuff happened too, Leah had never gone back to the cabin. She'd never gone back to look for Daryl or Dog. So she's presumably still out there somewhere. I think it would suck if after all that they end up killing her off. So I'm hoping they don't go down that route, but. Hopefully we do get some sense of a reunion, because I think people have also very fairly pointed out that in 10 seasons of the show, Daryl has never actually had like a solid or legitimate kind of love interest, and Leah was the first person that came along that actually felt even somewhat similar to what that would be. So it would be very, very unfair if they were to actually introduce Leah and show Leah only through flashbacks, but then to have wiped her out in the present day too. So hopefully we see Leah again. Leah was very cool. Leah was very, very cool. She was a very cool character, and like the fact that she actually got along with Daryl. Like initially there were tensions and different kind of tensions and stuff, but at the end they did still get along well together. They eventually kind of bonded and eventually accepted that they were two survivors, just hanging out in the forest and the cabin and the river and everything. So eventually they set differences aside and actually joined as humans and as survivors. So yeah, hopefully we actually see Leah again. But then the tensions did not go away in the present day. Daryl and Carol still kind of argued and kind of talked about how some things weren't exactly Daryl's fault, but then other things like Alpha, like most of the stuff that went down with Alpha, and leading to Connie's disappearance too, that was pretty much down to Carol and her impulsiveness and her recklessness and everything. So tensions are still pretty strong between them. But yeah, it felt like a pretty self-contained episode, but it was still kind of good, you know, in all kind of necessary aspects, so it was very enjoyable. So now I think going into this one, I've heard this one is actually going to be about Aaron and Gabe, so I'm interested to see where their story leads, and especially, these being bonus episodes, I'm curious to see exactly what kind of bonus content for characters they actually show us. So yeah, it should be fun. But that is pretty much all all I've picked up from the last one. So on to episode 19, season 10. This will be the highlight reel, as always. So if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go see that over there. But yeah, on to episode 19. Let's go. Just look at the flowers. Just look at the flowers. Oh, someone is looking at the flowers. Who's looking at the flowers? Yep, the walkers are looking at the flowers. The walkers gotta look at the flowers. Oh, so much blood. So much fake blood. No, that's a cool shot. There's just the door left. Just that one door. Everything else could not possibly survive what happened. Just that one door. Whoa. Oh, bodies, people. Oh, is that a family? Is that a family? That looks like a child skeleton in the middle. Oh, food, beans, veg. Oh. Never mind. Never mind. They giveth hope and then they taketh away. that easily. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no. I saw that coming. I saw it coming and it still got me. I saw that one coming and it still got me. Yeah. You're just gonna end up tearing it apart. You're just gonna end up tearing it apart. It's not gonna, no. Yeah, it just comes apart. So these are like it's the kind of place that other people would have used as shelter, but then they just died out after running out of their own resources. Save us! Yeah, they even put up an SOS. God damn it. And see, it's a harsh reality to be reminded of that not everyone survives this kind of climate. Whoa, I didn't see that one coming. I did not see that one coming. Oh, yeah, just falls right on top of him, yeah.
We'll follow our tracks back.
What tracks? There's a rainstorm coming. It's gonna wash your tracks away. You guys are lost. You guys are indefinitely lost. Oh, jeez. Well, at least they got a free shower. They got a free shower. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, so many Bibles. Just stacks of Bibles. Stacks upon stacks. And the pages ripped out. Walker.
He just came at me.
Is that a warthog? Like Pumbaa from the Lion King?
That was quite the scream.
Oh. Are you through?
At least he's honest. He's honest. Yeah, I'm not done laughing. This is too hilarious. I'm not done laughing.
Oh, Lord. It's not just whiskey. It's perfection.
Oh, is it holy whiskey?
It's rare. Easily cost over $2,000.
Wow, he still keeps track of that.
People would pay that much
Yeah, he still keeps track of that.
What's wrong with the world?
Now pay attention to the finish, how the flavor evolves.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Now we eat and the meat will taste even better.
Yeah.
And we get there. And he heads straight for the liquor cabinet. And he says, "Shut up, Gabriel!" Snatches off my collar. And then later he tells me that real ministering isn't preaching from a pulpit. It's talking to people one-on-one. On their own terms.
You need to start preaching again. No, you do. I'm gonna be mad at you if you don't.
You really think things are gonna go back to the way they were?
It has to.
Boar.
Oh, it was a boar, not a warthog. Never mind then, not Pumbaa. No, not Pumbaa.
How was it?
Oh, I know him. I've seen him in places. Yeah, he's...
I I'd like a bite.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I definitely recognize the actor, yeah. I think wasn't he in Terminator? Isn't he the Terminator?
So you figure that boar got into that room by itself?
Yeah, that is a question worth asking. That is a question worth asking.
Just say no harm.
Oh, he's met Aaron. He's already seen Aaron. He's already seen Aaron.
I don't bluff as easy as your buddy in your little card game.
Oh, he was watching them. He had been watching them. Oh, sugar. Oh, it's loaded. It's loaded. It's loaded.
Things like love, mercy, forgiveness.
Toilet paper.
Nah.
What?
Yes.
The Bible.
Wait, he uses that as toilet paper?
Toilet paper.
That's why the pages are ripped out.
Like 10 pages.
He literally wipes his ass with the word of God. Oh, Christ. Did he attack him while he was peeing? That's just that's a boundary you just never cross. Russian roulette. Oh my god, this guy's a psychopath. This guy's actually fucking nuts.
Get you a new boar. It's not about the boar.
It's about the whiskey?
Then what is it about?
The whiskey?
Enlightenment.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Jesus. And now him. Oh, God, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Okay. Okay.
To prove how evil man is? That what this is about? You think I'm gonna shoot him or he's gonna shoot me?
Quiet.
He wants to prove that there's no good people in the world. Yeah.
Now! Did you hear that?
That's the one with the bullet.
Sound when the chamber looks.
Yeah, that's the chamber with the bullet.
You got a choice to make.
So we were worried for nothing all this time, and now that's when the real danger comes in.
When I was with my brother and his family and we were on the road, and I saved their lives more times than I can count. And then one day I wake up and there's my brother, stealing the last of my food. And then he comes at me with a knife and what happened?
Oh, is that how he got the gash on his face? Came at him
I
with
handled it.
Your brother didn't give you any enlightenment, just a ripped up face, and you're so full of hate that you can't see that you're about to murder two good people, and for what? To prove what?
That you aren't any different.
Yes, we are.
What about Gracie?
Oh, don't you mention that name.
I see her again, don't you?
Don't you mention that name.
Well, then you know what you gotta do.
What about Coco? Coco and Gracie, both of them. Need you both. They need you both.
Look at him. 3, 2, 1, stop! This is who people are! This is truth!
You're wrong. Our community is real. It's full of people who were lost and found their way back. You can too.
I don't believe you.
Just give them a chance. Give them a chance to prove you wrong. And if they don't, then you can leave and go back to your miserable old ways. But is he gonna let them go, or is he actually gonna go with them?
My name is Maze.
Maze. Whoa! Gabe! What?
We couldn't take him with us. He killed his brother's family.
Oh, there's someone else. Whoa. Is that another person?
It's his brother.
That's his brother still alive. An identical twin. An identical twin. Oh, he kept the family. Oh, he made him play the Russian roulette thing. Oh my Jesus.
We're not going to hurt you. Just put the gun down.
Don't shoot, please don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot.
No, wait!
Oh, okay, never mind, no. I think, you know what, it's probably not even worth anymore. It's just not even worth it anymore. Damn. I mean, you can't blame that guy. He was driven to depression and suicide. He watched as his family died. So yeah, lovely. This was a much heavier hitting episode than the previous one. So a lovely episode with Gabe and Aaron. And I think even in the main show, I do still love their kind of chemistry together. I think my memory on their time together is kind of vague. Like it doesn't see. I think, truth be told, right, it seems like they actually do get equally as enjoyable and equally as kind of momentous occasions together. But it's like I just can't remember it because I only watch those episodes once and then I move on to the next one when it comes out. And I think my tendency to rewatch episodes is dependent on the show I'm watching. So Walking Dead pretty much isn't one of them, but this episode definitely went to show and prove that Gabe and Aaron do have some great chemistry together, and that their kind of friendship and relationship is actually really great to watch. And yes, I think just to start off with, they had a very, very basic kind of mission, just following Maggie's map and scavenging and searching out different spots. And I think, like those opening kind of 15-20 minutes definitely kind of showed off like the harsh reality of this new world, like, and like them finding a new place, like them finding that house that had burned down almost to the front door, like the front door and maybe like an inch or two of wall was all that was left, and then that was pretty much it. And then they went inside and saw the family that had been burned away and everything. So there was that, and then the family that had been living on the roof of that mini mart, and they even had like an SOS that said "Save us," but no one came. And eventually, I think they must have starved or been bit. Like I think there was still a walker there, so I think one or two of them must have been infected and then killed the others. But for the most part, they were all still kind of starved or infected and dead either way, so that was depressing. But I think that again, that showed the harsh reality of the world. Like, it's not just about actually being like a main character or having plot armor to survive in the story, but in this kind of world, in this new, forced kind of climate, it's like literally having the like literally having the necessary tools and skills to survive. And and it's like a common kind of argument of like surviving in a zombie apocalypse. Like would you have what it takes to survive this kind of a world? And like depending on who you ask, a lot of it could be to do with how well you can scavenge, how well you can hunt, but also like how well you can actually survive both on your own and in a group. Because obviously we've seen from this show that surviving in a group isn't always ideal, because not everyone gets along, not everyone actually has the same ideals in mind, and in the end tensions rise and you might end up killing each other, or others might end up killing you and stuff. And then when you're a lone wolf, you only have yourself to worry about, and then you avoid attachments, and then that becomes even more like dehumanizing to like not know any other people or to not really befriend any other people. So that kind of harsh reality, like the people either can't survive at all, or the people can't survive under certain kind of rules and conditions, is just, again, it's just a harsh reality to have to face. And then and then they actually come across a warehouse with, I think, and it wasn't a warthog, admittedly. I think at first glance it looked like a warthog. At first glance it reminded me of Pumbaa from The Lion King, and he is a warthog. So, but no, this was a boar. I think boars may be furrier. Boars might be, because I think warthogs still have like tusks. I remember Pumbaa still having like a tusk and stuff like that. I don't know if he had fur. They didn't really draw that. I think I haven't even seen the live action Lion King, so I don't know if they actually made him that furry as well, or if he's something else. But definitely a boar inside the warehouse. But yeah, the warehouse was where it all went tits up. And I think, I don't know who the actor is, but I think I recognize his face. Like his, it seems like a face I've seen in different places. Like he's been in different roles in different kind of TV shows and movies. And I think for some reason the first face that came to mind was the one from Terminator. Like I think it might have been Terminator 2 maybe, or like the guy robot that could like shapeshift between liquid silver and an actual human embodiment kind of thing. And then he was hunting down young John Connor. Wait, was it John Connor or Kyle Reese? I think John Connor was the son. Kyle Reese was the dad. So he was hunting down Kyle, and I think that's the first place to get that's the first face that came up. I'm like 90% sure he was in that, 90% sure. But either way, I think he's been known to have some good kind of acting credits under his belt. So having him on The Walking Dead, even for one episode, was definitely a worthwhile kind of addition. And he made for a great antagonist. He made for an absolutely spot on antagonist. And I think before I get to that, I think just seeing Aaron and Gabe being able to actually settle in and relax with like a nice bottle of whiskey and a boar and like some nice shelter as well, like with like sleeping on beanbags and everything, like it was a nice enough section to see before everything actually went down. and stuff, and just seeing them come across. And I think that one shot with Gabe too, like him actually kind of like reminiscing his history. Like, I mean, for one thing, it speaks to the actor's ability to be able to kind of actually recite like an entire page, like what's likely an entire page worth of kind of dialogue, but also just like it being a one shot, him actually passing that off as him being able to actually pass that off as like as an actual memory that he has, instead of just, you know, seeming like, oh, he's reciting words he's heard of a script, and everything is just really spot on acting. So that was fun of him actually reminiscing his kind of old days as like a pastor in training, or like a priest in training under Reverend George and stuff, and him even kind of admitting that, you know, yeah, but even us religious folks, even pastors and priests and reverends, even we kind of succumb to alcohol every once in a while, and him being like, you know, like it's not always about actually using big words and eloquent and heartfelt. Well, I mean, it's not always about using big and like, you know, eloquent religious words, but it's also just about speaking from the heart. And sometimes you got to get drunk to do that. Sometimes you need to actually extend a hand that has alcohol in it and actually extend that kind of, you know, kind of numbness to be able to cope with various traumas. Because I think in that case he was actually talking about how his first kind of job was to attend a funeral of the funeral of like a teenager with the reverend. So, you know, for that one, like, you know, like dealing with death, dealing with mourning, you know, sometimes people use alcohol to cope with that. So the reverend understood that, and even gave some alcohol to the dad that came by. And so that scene was really, really fun. Just seeing them relax was just like a really kind of refreshing thing to see, because it's not often you see that. I think even like when you get episodes that are within like the community, within the actual kind of borders of the town, it's like everyone's always doing something. Something's always going wrong. Something's always, you know, like even if they're just talking, like 9 times out of 10, it's going to be like a more emotional, heavier scene. But with this, it actually felt more like they were actually relaxing, just kind of getting drunk and talking and stuff like that. So for that, Gabe and Aaron are two characters that definitely fit that kind of mold and fit that kind of scene, kind of tone very, very well. So that was really fun to see. But yeah, and I think they're both just fighting to get back to Coco, and Gracie, I almost forgot her name. They're both kind of fighting to get back to her, and I think, you know, like they were following Maggie's map. I mean, Maggie's map no longer exists. Just, you know, just kind of soaked in the mud and everything. But they were following Maggie's map, and most of those were empty spots. So I think Gabe, like, you know, I think knowing Gabe, he just didn't really want to return like empty-handed or anything. But then knowing Aaron, he also just he wanted to be able to return at all. He didn't really. I think he felt like he felt like he could just explain away empty-handedness more than Gabe could, but he also cared more about actually going back and living to see Gracie again, instead of spending more time away and losing more time and possibly even risking getting attacked even further. So they both had their reasons and their motives, so that was fun. And then came the survivor. Maze was his name. His name was, I think it, you know what sucks even more? The fact that we learn his name seconds before he gets bashed in the face by Gabe with Aaron's metal arm, with his Winter Soldier arm, like seconds before he gets killed. And yeah, and again, that guy, he like, the actor himself did a spot on job of that. Like, you know, he actually came along. He definitely seemed like a force to be reckoned with, and then moments later he is kind of revealed to be more of like an antagonistic force. And he was a pessimist. He was just a pessimist. I think, you know, like a pessimist is one of the worst things you can be in this new world. Like, I mean, you know, he had been eavesdropping on Aaron and Gabe like the night before from his little kind of hidey hole up on the upper floor of the warehouse. So he'd seen them cooking and eating his boar. He'd seen them drinking his whiskey, and he'd heard them having their kind of drunk kind of, you know, like conversation together. So he I think he felt like he I think not just him being a pessimist, but I think he felt like, you know, in that drunken state he had seen them at their truest, and he'd seen them what they were like. Because he even said, like, you know, like a drunk tongue is an honest one. So all that Gabe and Aaron said, that he'd like nothing but thieves and murderers out there, and evil is the exception to the rule, and people are all evil now. So him being a pessimist, he would take those words to heart and make them live up to it and stuff. So yeah, I think in terms of that mentality too, I feel like he kind of reminds me of Jigsaw too. Like, I think, because I mean, you know, I haven't seen all of the Saw movies, but from the ones I've seen, like Jigsaw's mentality is definitely like, you know, like how much do you value human life, and how much do you value your own life compared to the lives of other people and stuff. So he somewhat had that mentality with the Russian Roulette thing. Like, as soon as the Russian Roulette thing came out, I was like, yeah, okay, like, I really don't want to anticipate anyone dying here, but this just kind of goes to show what kind of guy he is. Like, you know, he is a pessimist. He believes that he himself believes because of what he's suffered, that nothing exists in this new world other than good, other than evil. Like, nothing but thieves and murderers, nothing but people looking out for themselves and no one else. Nothing but selfish people. Because then again, in this world too, like, you know, like, selfish would mean like you steal other people's food, or maybe you get caught in a firefight, or you get caught in like a horde, and you choose to save yourself instead of going back for someone who got left behind and then they die. Stuff like that. And he had his own story about how he actually saved his brother and his brother's family kind of countless times on the road, and then one night he wakes up and he just sees his brother finish off the last of his food, and then his brother comes to attack him with a knife. So he kind of used that to base off everyone else's potential as like an actual survivor and as a human being and stuff. So yeah, so then that Russian roulette thing, I figured that's what he was actually going for. Like, you know, like how much do you like care about your own life compared to how you care about your other person? Because I think that is pretty much how like Russian roulette works. Like, you know, like this, it's like that kind of chance of actually getting a bullet yourself versus actually, because I mean Russian roulette, I think that it's slightly different, because I think that one actually goes in like a circle, and you like, no one's going to stop you from shooting someone else, but the main goal is to actually shoot yourself and see if you get the bullet. But then with this one, I think this one reminds me of Until Dawn. This one reminds me of the scene from Until Dawn. I can't remember what the character's name. I think Josh and Ashley, I think it is. Josh and Ashley, I think that might be the names. I think that one, you actually, that one's like a story-driven choices matter type of thing, like a Telltale game would be. But with that one, you actually get the choice of whether you shoot, of whether you're playing as Josh, and you get the choice of whether you shoot yourself or whether you shoot Emily. And that kind of selfishness comes into play too. So if you actually, spoiler alert for that game, if you shoot yourself, like, nothing really happens because it shoots blanks. But if you shoot yourself, then it shows that you actually care about yourself more than her, and then you fall in love and things happen. But then if you shoot her, she remembers that later on and then leaves you to die. So yeah, I mean, with this one, I don't think it would be the same thing, but with this one, we see that, you know, Gabe and Aaron definitely do care about each other enough to actually sacrifice themselves. But in this case, they're being forced to pick. So it's not like a heat at the moment where they're like caught in a horde and they have to actually, you know, like one of them would obviously go back to help the other one. But in this one, there's a psychopath actually making them choose between killing themselves or killing the other person. So yeah, so I think not exactly Russian roulette, but like a similar, like maybe like a spin-off of Russian roulette, if you will. But yeah, that one, that kind of pessimism really kind of shines through, and he just solely believes that, you know, because of that kind of trauma, but also just seeing like what the world is like now, seeing more and more dead rise, and just like kind of assuming that everyone else out there may as well, because I think he also knows that him and his brother's family weren't the only ones left. Like, there were likely other people, and they might have gone under the same mentality. Like it's just like seeing how quickly the world falls when the outbreak happens, and seeing how, because I think it's like, you know, I think like an accurate kind of depiction of that would be in World War Z, when the outbreak happens and people start rioting and raiding supermarkets, and they even start attacking each other just because. So I think he kind of assumes that too, without maybe without directly seeing it. But I think he's seen enough. He's seen enough to feel like he can actually make assumptions, which he can't. But that's just the kind of person he is, so he makes them choose and stuff. So I think the even creepier thing was that he actually literally knew about them, like he had actually been eavesdropping on them, and I think that also goes to show what kind of person he is too, because like it wasn't just about eavesdropping, it wasn't just about listening to what they were saying, but it was actually watching them through the night, seeing what they would do, seeing what they would be like. And I think, you know, like seeing them drinking his whiskey and eating his boar, and like he even points out, like, okay, well, so you didn't think anyone really lived here, but you thought like a boar literally just wandered into a warehouse and locked itself in a room all by itself. Like, you didn't think anyone must have captured it and then killed it or something. Wow, okay, you guys are really, really smart. But also just like seeing that reminded him of how his brother had actually done the same thing to him years back. So then he felt like he was just watching two other guys behaving the same way his brother had. So then they were like no different than he was, and he was determined to punish them. So yeah, a lot. It's a lot that makes you think. A lot that makes you kind of like evaluate the different mentalities people would have in this kind of a world, and the different kind of ways people would think, and how they would kind of fight to survive. Because again, I think they really had me going when Gabe and Aaron especially just got just fought to convince the guy that, you know, we're good, you can trust us, like, hey, we'll even take you back to our community is willing to give people second chances so long as they actually cooperate and do their part, and you actually help to protect each other. Like, they wanted to prove to him that there was good, that there was still good left in the world, and that there were people left willing to help each other and actually do good by each other. And they actually had me believing that he would actually, you know, go with them, because I figured after that, like after he lowered the gun and took the bullets out, I figured it could go either one of two ways. Either he could let them go and warn them never to return again, and he'd just kind of be stuck being miserable with his other identical brother on the upper floor, or he actually might go with them and try and be a part of that community, which would then raise questions like, you know, like, what would he do with his brother afterwards? Like, he just leave him there to starve, or leave him there to kind of succumb to even further depression? But then no, Gabe just comes in swinging with the spiky arm and bashes the guy's face in, and he's like, you know, okay, now we can go. So now, like, in that moment, Gabe kind of proves him wrong, that yeah, no, that, like, you know, like, oh, you know, I know we told you that we're good people and all, but then we weren't really sure. Because the thing with Gabe, it's like, you know, I think I'll be honest, right? I've never been too. I mean, Gabe has had badass moments. He's had badass moments, but truth be told, I've never been truly invested in him as a character, and I've never actually, you know, really really felt like he's a character too. Like, he's a character I guess kind of worth following, but like I've personally never been too invested in him, so I've never known how to feel about him or about who he is. And even when he was introduced, it was like, oh, it seems like an interesting concept for a character, like an actual former priest who's now thrown into the world of the dead and everything, you know. But then since then, it's like, oh, he's cool, I guess, but there are others like Glenn and Maggie and, you know, Michonne and everyone else. So, you know, like more of the actual mainstream kind of characters and stuff. And then, you know, things went down and other people joined. Aaron, I've always kind of enjoyed him. I've always enjoyed Aaron's character. He's always seemed kind of cool. Like, he like the way he's evolved has actually been really, really fun to watch. So yeah, I think, again, not to throw any shade at Gabriel. Gabriel was still a cool character, but I've just never really kind of thought too much about what his character's like or how I feel about him. So yeah, but then with this, it just goes to show that, you know, like I think that may as well have been Gabe's plan all along. Find a way to goad the guy into actually kind of letting them live and letting them free, and then as soon as he's done that, then just actually take him out and, you know, finish him off before they leave. And then even him telling Aaron, like, oh, don't worry, we're good. I think he meant, okay, don't worry, we're good, we're safe. But then Aaron being like, are we good after what you just did? Like, you know, goading that guy into letting us free and just killing him anyway. Like, oh, are you sure we're still the good guys here? And then the ultimate plot twist comes in when they actually investigate, like, they decide to investigate how he'd known how he had been able to spy on them, and they find out about the upper floor, and they find the guy, they find his brother. So his brother even said he made him play. He saw like the dead body of his brother's family, and then he said he made him play. He made him play. So I think that kind of makes you wonder, like he must have made them play the same game where he would give them each the gun with the one bullet in the chamber. And I think, yes, I think that whole thing, I didn't know that would happen. Like, you know, because like that would mean that they were then worried for nothing, like almost worried for nothing. Because then if it makes a different sound once it actually loads a bullet into the chamber, that means you should be able to tell the difference of when there's no bullet in the chamber, then you have nothing to worry about. So I don't know if that's actually accurate to how guns work, or if it's like, I mean, you know, it sounds fairly accurate, because I think like the actual sound of you know, clip being loaded, or like a bullet being loaded would like need to be different, so you'd actually know when the bullet's out, when the gun's out of ammo and stuff like that. But either way, that was just like another kind of tidbit. But then that means that he actually must have made his brother and his brother's family like play that same game of actually giving them each the gun with the one bullet, and then making them choose between shooting themselves or the wife. So then that makes me wonder, like, you know, like did the wife and kid shoot themselves, or did the husband actually did the brother actually decide to shoot them just to make sure he lived, or like what kind of choice did he succumb to? Because then immediately afterwards he committed suicide. I think he was set free, and then he still had the gun. He still had his own version of the gun, his own version of the revolver. So he was set free, he was unlocked by Gabe, and then he actually, like, the last thing he saw was his wife and kid's body. So I think that would make him I think that would maybe make him realize what he had done, or maybe what he had lost all this time, and he'd basically been trapped up here, forced to look at his family's bodies day in, day out, and stuff like that. So then that makes you wonder, like, you know, he may either way, he's succumbed to the depression of having lost his family, but he either must have killed them, or been forced to watch them kill themselves, and then, you know, just in the end, just been forced to deal with that trauma. So in the end, like, even after being freed, he felt like it was better to actually take himself out and go meet them afterwards and stuff. So yeah, it's just a lot, just so much to take in, But yeah, Maze. So yeah, very interesting episode to further develop Gabe and Aaron in like as like a bonus for this season. Very interesting way to look into kind of like the human psyche. I mean, I don't know if this kind of mentality is one that's been explored on the show before, because I think with a show like this, I think you don't really have much choice but to explore all the various different versions of the human mentality and how it would kind of break down or even build itself up in the wake of what's happened. So I think like there's lots of different types of people out there, as we've seen throughout the series, and people who have succumbed to different things and people who have resorted to different ways of survival, you know, good or bad. So I think this kind of pessimism and this kind of like, you know, kind of judgmental mentality, I think, and that's one that's been, if it's one that has been explored before, but even if it has, it's a great way to rehash this and to throw two kind of hopeful and optimistic characters like Gabe and Aaron into that mix too, like them kind of, you know, fighting so hard not just to stay alive, but also to prove to someone else that good still exists, that light still exists. And I think, you know, Gabe, I think from the moment that he found out that the Bible pages were missing because Maze was literally wiping his ass with them, that was when he figured, okay, yeah, I have to get through to this guy, because that is just something that cannot go, you know, unpunished and everything. So I think that's why he killed Maze. That's the real reason he killed Maze. Once he found out that the Bible pages were being used as toilet paper, it was like, yeah, this guy's got to go. He cannot slander God's word like that. He's got to go. But no, and I think you like the scene of him breaking down laughing after he finds out that Aaron screamed because a boar came after him too. Like, he's like, you know, like he's so insistent, like he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not done. This is too funny for me to let go. I haven't laughed this hard in so long. It's been so long, but you know, it just got to get it all out. And I think that must have been what drew them out too. Like, I think Maze knew off the bat. Like, I think as soon as like Aaron made the warning noises and they actually started talking and they actually killed the boar and started talking, like Maze must have known almost immediately that people were in there, and he wanted to put them to the test. He wanted to see how far they would go to do what they were doing and to get what they needed, and like what they would do in the name of relaxation and kind of, you know, nourishment and stuff like that. So yeah, so then after that, I think he saw them as worthy kind of adversaries and worthy kind of competitors for the kind of roulette game and everything. So he felt like putting them to the test after that. So it was some interesting stuff. It was some very interesting stuff. But yeah, great Gabe and Aaron content. Great content. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much all I can recall from this episode. All I've written down, all I can remember that's really noteworthy. But it was a really fun episode. And I think these episodes going forward, they definitely feel a lot more kind of self-contained and a lot more like actual bonus content that works to further develop the characters than actually anything to add on further to the Whisperer story, because that stuff's over and done with. So I feel like maybe the Commonwealth stuff, because yeah, like, cause I can't help but kind of subconsciously kind of roll back to the Commonwealth thing and find out where Eugene are, but I think that stuff is actually still pretty kind of integral to like how the series itself develops. So I think that stuff we might not see until, because I think even if we do see something about Eugene and the princess and Yumiko and Ezekiel, I think even if we do see something from them, it will definitely be before they actually reach that final kind of train yard where the Commonwealth found them. I think we won't actually see them and how they interact with the Commonwealth until the next season, at least, because again, that definitely feels like final season, you know, like kind of like a final season type of story. It doesn't feel like something worth fitting into the bonus thing. Like, the bonus stuff seems almost exclusively stuff that further expands upon characters and shows us some history between them and shows us some actual kind of like development between them and like their kind of relationships and everything. So I think, yeah, like these bonus episodes definitely feel almost exclusive to what the characters are and who they are and what they've become, as opposed to where they go from here. And stuff like that. So definitely still enjoyable, but that is all I've got, pretty much all I've got. So that was The Walking Dead season 10 episode 19. So thank you guys as always for so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on The Walking Dead. Once again, the full-length reaction will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.